Hello, beautiful souls, and thanks so much for tuning in again. My name is Luca, AM Astar, and welcome to 𝑓. So, today we're going to be channeling messages from Ptah. And the deity of Ptah actually comes from the ancient Kemethic pantheon. But what we're going to be channeling today is actually the cosmic principle that resonates with the energy of Ptah. And this can be many different things, because if we look at the cosmic energy, then this energy also resonates with the energy of ODIN or the energy of Poseidon. It's basically the energy of the All-Father. It's a divine masculine energy, but it is also connected to divine wisdom, which is more feminine. Like there are many different aspects to what the cosmic energy connected to Ptah is, and we are going to be exploring these different facets in this reading. And actually we're gonna dive right in, because I want to open the space and allow Ptah and Spirit to channel through me to really relay any messages that want to be spoken today. And I already see that there is a reference to the spoken word, but we will see what this is about as we explore the readings. So pile number 1 is the family of light. Pile number 2 is synchronicity. And pile number 3 is expression. So intuitively feel which pile or piles have a message for you today. As usual, you find the timestamps in the description box, and I'm going to be seeing you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. So this is your reading if you have chosen the Family of Light card. This is a very beautiful energy, and the first thing that comes up is actually the color turquoise, which really brings us to the throat chakra. Because Ptah is actually the divine word. It's the logos. It's the word that creates everything in the universe. And obviously if we say word, we mean vibration. So it's not only the vibration itself, but it's also the intelligence that speaks, or the intelligence that utters the word. And when we talk about ancient texts like the Bible, for example, and we hear the phrase, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God," what this refers to is actually the energy of Ptah. Because Ptah, again, is the divine utterance, the word that creates everything in the physical universe. So Ptah is the divine crafter, the divine architect of the physical world. And this is very important because there is a lot of confusion when it comes to the word God. Because many people use God as the word for the supreme creator, for the supreme source, for all that is. But actually, and that's now my opinion, you can have a different opinion, I personally believe that the word God actually alludes to this divine masculine principle. It's actually this energy of, it's more so a focus on the male aspect, on the male, on the All-Father energy. And this, in my opinion, actually is a little bit, I wouldn't say misleading, but it doesn't take the feminine energy as much into account. Because if we look at Source Creator as being this non-gendered, undefinable source of all that is, then it is more neutral. But when we talk about God as being a He, which many people do, then there is a sole focus on the divine masculine energy. Because if we say He who is in heaven, or He who is the Father of all, but Source is not only the Father, and Source is also not only the Mother. Source is actually the source that transcends all genders. It's even beyond the duality of feminine and masculine. And what source actually is not even, we're not even able to put this in words. So that's why the message coming through here, it's almost helping us understand also where the word God comes from. Because if we trace the origin of that word back, it is actually very much connected with the deity of Odin. Because other names for Odin are GODIN, GODAN, Oth, God, ODAN, ODIN, like all these are different names for the All-Father. And this actually very much resonates with the energy of Ptah. Because again, Ptah is almost the intelligence that designs everything that is physical. And the utterance in itself is not the actual creation. Because the actual creation, that's then divine feminine energy. When we talk about the matrix, when we talk about the crystallization, when we talk about the form and the shape. But Ptah is almost, yes, the force that opens portals through the voice, through the invocation, that allows creations to almost flow from a state of being undifferentiated into something tangible, into something physical. And that's happening through our voice. So that's why we as creator beings, we as magicians, we use our voice to invoke the energy to then create something which is manifested and crystallized in the physical realm. And this has very much to do with magic. So that's why Ptah is also the nature of magic, the deity of magic. And the same goes with Odin. Odin is the deity of wisdom, of magic. Odin has the wisdom of, brings the wisdom of the runes. Odin is also a prophet, a seer. And that's actually where the name comes from. Like the root of Wot or Vat is the same root that creates the word faith. So it's about inspiration, but it's also about insight, seeing things clearly. And that's why it's the energy of the prophet and the seer, someone who sees. But seer in the sense of, yes, seeing both sides of creation, seeing the physical creation, but also what lies behind the veil. So it's actually, or also bringing messages from the invisible to the visible. And again, there is this energy of the portal. Like Ptah being the mouth of creation, or like the force that opens the mouth of creation and allows creation to come from the invisible realm into the physical. It's, again, this bridge. And again, the bridge is our voice. The bridge is sound. The bridge is the divine word. It's actually the spoken will of the creator, that which sets things in motion. But very strong throat chakra energy coming in. And this can also tell us that we can invoke the presence of Ptah or Odin to activate our throat chakra as well. Because it says signs, guidance, innate and ancient wisdom. And that's actually what also the energy of Ptah is telling us. So it's basically the ancient wisdom that is stored within our subconscious or unconscious. That's the energy of what's behind the veil, what's in the invisible, what's hidden, let's say. And through our voice, through using our voice, speaking the divine word, like the divine utterance, this in itself is creating a portal to express the wisdom, the innate wisdom that is within us, and the voice takes it out and creates it and manifests it, and it's then spoken, and since it's spoken, it's seen. Before it's spoken, it actually exists as a potential, as an idea. And this is very much where the creation story comes in. The creation story, there are actually two creation stories in the ancient Egyptian Neteranism, so the Kemetic religion, the Kemetic spirituality. One includes Aten or Aten, the sun disk, as the prime creator of the universe, and a later story is actually talking about Ptah as being the prime creator of the universe. But these are just different stories to look at something which is beyond words. So all these deities, all these stories, all these myths, they help us understand that which lies beyond form. And again, there is this reference of creating a bridge between the undefined and the defined. But obviously, as soon as we speak, as soon as there is a sound, something becomes defined, because there is a vibration to it, there is a pattern to it. And Ptah is the force that designs the patterns. And again, coming back to the creation story, one version of the creation story talks about Ptah being the creator of the universe. And this is actually not only Ptah, but it's Ptah and Thoth. Because Thoth, that is the heart mind. Thoth is the divine intelligence. Thoth is the union between head and heart. It's both the mind, but it's also intuition. It's the reasoning and it's divine. It's the cosmic dragon spirit, the spirit that creates all. But Thoth can also exist as an idea, because we can have an idea in our mind, but that doesn't mean that it is manifested. That doesn't mean that it is solidified. So the idea, let's say, comes from Thoth, the information, the blueprint. But, oh, there is an ant. Can you see it? No? Maybe it's coming later. We'll take it as a sign. What I wanted to say. So the idea is not yet defined. It's not yet created. We can have an idea to create an artwork, and so all this planning, all the making the first sketches, or making not even the first sketches, just the planning stage, that is in the mind, that is in the heart mind, that is in the undefined invisible realm. But then as soon as we speak it, as soon as there is a channel for expression, it is actually created, because the first time we say something, it is us expressing that idea. Before we have spoken it out, it has only been inside as a potential. But as soon as we utter the divine word, the magic word, it is then crystallized into creation, or the idea is out there, let's say. And this is very much an analogy that helps us understand how the energy of Ptah creates the universe. The idea comes from Thoth, but Ptah actually crafts it into creation. It's the architect, but not only the architect that plans, but also the architect that allows things to unfold through the word. And this is very beautiful, because we also have signs, guidance, and 11 very much helping us understand the workings of the universe, but also the workings of not only the universe, the physical universe, but also the invisible universe. And again, creating the bridge between the two. But let's see what the cards have to say. So we're channeling messages from Ptah. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Two of Cups. Beautiful. The Hanged Man. The King of Wands, okay. 10 of Pentacles. The Universe. Princess of Cups. And the Ace of Cups. Okay, beautiful. So there is definitely a reference to our creative energy. Because again, the King of Wands talks about, especially in conjunction with the Ace of Cups, this really talks about using our creative energy, using our life force energy, our potential. Because the Ace of Cups, that's actually the energy, not even one type of energy, it's energy in itself. It's like primal energy, primordial energy. It's actually everything in the universe is energy. And when I say the universe, I talk about the created, manifested universe. Because everything that is not yet manifested is the potential for energy. Or it's the blueprint that then leads to energy. But there is a difference between, I feel Ptah is coming true to tell us that creation is not as black and white as we might think. And when we speak about God creating the universe, it is not completely wrong, let's say like that the All-Father creates the physical universe. But it's not only that. There are other aspects to it. Because if we think of Ptah being the divine crafter of the physical universe, that is true in that way. But it is not only the All-Father, the energy of the All-Father, which manifests everything into creation. Because obviously, creation in itself, everything that's manifested, everything that has form, is the feminine. So also there is, it's very important to have both aspects, both the masculine and the feminine, but also the created and the uncreated. And the creation story is not the story of how the whole multidimensional omniverse was created. Because creation, that is everything that is physical, everything that is the observable universe. But again, there is also the invisible part of it, which lies beyond energy, which lies beyond everything that can be defined. And everything that is defined, everything that is materialized in the physical universe, that is energy. And that is actually the Odic force. It is called Oder from the Norse mythology. It's this Odic force which creates everything, but this Odic force is basically energy. And energy can have many different forms, because spirit is energy, but this crystal is also energy. And what changes the structure or changes the form is vibration, is sound. And that sound is what gives energy its shape. So it's actually, Ptah is coming through to help us understand that before everything is created, before the universe is created, there is this potential for energy, this potential energy that is not yet defined. And through the power of the word, through our invocation as magicians, as creator beings, we give this undefined energy a form. We give definition to that which is undefined. We use this potential of energy and almost mold it into having a potential. We mold it into having a shape, where it then can be either water or fire or air. The elements are coming through. So we as magicians are using the power of our word to invoke the elements or to give shape to certain energies. And this is ultimate throat chakra activation, because all the cards also have this turquoise and bluish green vibe to it. So Ptah is really coming through to, help us activate our throat chakra and help us understand how powerful our words are. Because it is really true that we are Ptah. Ptah is a cosmic energy, but it's an aspect within ourselves. We all have that aspect within ourselves. And this is very much the energy of Neptune. This is also the energy of Poseidon, because Neptune resonates with the energy of Pisces. And this is actually the same deity, because the word Poseidon comes from the name POSEIDON. And Pose is like another name for father or master, and ODAN is Odin. So Odin, GODIN, GODAN, Wotan, it's all the same deity. Obviously not exactly the same, but we're talking about the same undefinable cosmic energy. And all these stories of Ptah, Odin, Poseidon, the All-Father, all these cultures, they are helping us define that which is undefinable. So that's why all these stories and myths, they help us, again, create this bridge between the two. And we as magicians, we are the bridge, because we can have both perspectives. We can have the perspective of all that is in creation, but also all that lies beyond creation. And funnily enough, our voice is what creates the bridge. Sound is what allows the two to come together, or allows one to come into the other, the undefined into the defined. But it's very much talking about using our creative energy and knowing how powerful we are, and knowing that we are the ones who shape energy through the power of our word. And with the Knight of Wands, it's actually very much about focusing that energy, almost focusing our potential. Because with the Ten of Pentacles, this also talks about this is a very different kind of Ten of Pentacles, because usually Ten of Pentacles talks about the ultimate fulfillment in the physical realm. But this energy is coming through as Ptah is helping us understand our creative potential, our magical potential, our magical abilities, so that we can be creators of the physical realm. But it's not a focus on the physical realm, it's actually a focus on understanding that which lies beyond creation. And the more we understand the invisible, the more powerful we become in creating that which is in creation, in creating the visible. So again, the bridge between the physical and the non-physical is actually understanding the non-physical, understanding the great void, understanding the spirit realm, basically. Because this understanding of the spirit realm helps us be prosperous and abundant in the material realm. And prosperity and abundance is actually using our creative power to the fullest, living up to our highest potential, living up to our fully activating our magical abilities. And this is also the energy of Neptune and Pisces, because Neptune and Pisces, that's the energy of exactly learning more about the invisible realms, learning more about spirituality. It's higher learning, higher wisdom, higher knowledge. And that's actually also the energy where ODIN comes in, because ODIN gives us the wisdom of the runes. And the runes is a system, they are a system, like a magical divination system, which helps us tap into the energies of what lies behind the veil, what is in the invisible. And it's again always this reference of bridging the realms. And with Neptune and Pisces, it's about introspection, it's about this also dream realm, and also something about the dreams, the way we create the physical realm is actually by dreaming it into creation. Because the dream is this planning stage where we have an idea that is within the heart mind of Thoth, within the cosmic mind of the universe. And this is where we plan. And we create that blueprint by planning. We create the dream of what we want to experience in the inner realms. And the more we understand our inner realm, the more we understand our passions, our power, what we want to create, our potential, and we create that blueprint within, the more we can actually use that power to create it and manifest it into the physical realm. And wisdom is the bridge which allows us, wisdom is that which allows the bridge to be there. Because wisdom is, divine wisdom is also connected with the vibration, with the divine utterance. So it's very much Ptah coming through to tell us that wisdom is power. And the more wisdom we have of the inner realms, the more power we have in the physical world. But it's not about power in the sense of, look at how powerful I am because I'm so knowledgeable. It's about having wisdom to create a reality that is in alignment with the cosmic forces. So with the Hanged Man, there is also an element of, yes, having wisdom with the cosmic turtle, having wisdom, but always acting with purity of intent. because we never want to abuse wisdom. We never want to abuse that power, because that power, the power is actually understanding who we are. The better we understand who we are, the more power we have. Because when we understand who we are, we know that we are source. And being source is the ultimate empowerment. There is nothing higher than source. So the more wisdom we have, the more understanding we have, the better we understand that we are source. But we are wanting to have that understanding with an enlightened consciousness, not with an ego consciousness. Because if we start to play God, or to play as if we would be magicians, with having an ego-based intention or acting without purity of intent, this is what creates imbalance. And this is what ultimately creates karma. And yes, it creates a blueprint that we have to work our way through in order to find ourselves back to source, to oneness. So with our power, like with knowledge comes power, and we want to use that power in a way that is in alignment with source, in alignment with the cosmic energies. Very powerful reading, very powerful energies already coming through right now. I'm being called to pull some oracle cards to see what else we have. Again, we are channeling messages from Ptah to the collective. Channeling messages from Ptah for the collective. Okay, we have restore. Dolphin baby and manifest. Beautiful energy. So there's almost something about, because we definitely talk about creations, creative energy, with the dolphin baby and restore. It's actually Ptah coming through to tell us that we have an active role in creation, but it is not as active as we might think. Because all we need to do as creator beings is actually dreaming the reality into, first dreaming our dream, dreaming the blueprint, like creating the blueprint of what it is that we are wanting to create. But then it is not our job to, obviously it is our job to take action. It is our job to be in this king of wands energy, like taking action where it's needed. But it's not only through our own effort. Because with manifest coming through and restore coming through and the hanged man, there is something about working on our manifestations, but in a way where it is more in flow with the cosmic energies. Because if we try to manifest something and we say, I want to have it now, and I want to have it this way, this is actually creating a roadblock to this magical energy to unfold. Like, it's actually about having an openness, being very open and unbiased when it comes to our manifestations. And yes, knowing that our role as creator beings is dreaming the reality, like dreaming the blueprint, creating the blueprint, but then almost creating the blueprint with our dreams, telling the universe what it is that we want to manifest, and then almost handing it over to the cosmic energies. Because in the end, it's the cosmic energies creating this thing into manifestation. It is not us. It is this cosmic energy breathing through us. Because we are not separated from these cosmic principles. These cosmic principles, they work through us, but they don't work through an ego-based consciousness. And that's why, yes, we are creators of this universe, of this physical realm, but it is not as we would like it to be. Because sometimes we want to manifest things, and we want to have it like right now, or we want to have it this way. But Ptah is coming through to tell us the more open we are, the more unbiased we are, the more we trust actually. And this is where faith comes in, because Odin is also the deity connected with faith, the seer, the prophet. This is very much like the more faith we have, the more trust we have, the more open we are, the easier magic can work through us. Because magic happens through us. We are not the doers. We are the done, or like it's happening through us. And what our active role is actually just the dreaming part. And obviously taking action where it's needed, but we get inspired as to which actions to take. And this is where the energy of the seer and the prophets comes in, because the prophet receives visions. The prophet receives insights that tell them when to act and what to do. But it's not the energy of being active all the time and almost forcing things to happen. It is actually, yes, obviously taking action, but only taking action when guided. And this is where this connection to the higher realms is super necessary, because we can only have faith if we have at least an experience that there is a higher force. Because how can we trust that the universe is helping us if we have never experienced divine love, or if you have never experienced magic? Or faith is somehow connected to wisdom, because again, when we understand that which lies behind the veil, when we have the wisdom and the understanding of the spirit realm, this is what helps us have more faith, because we understand the invisible workings. We understand, like, there is something about synchronicities coming through signs and guidance. Like, we understand, even if we don't understand it logically in a ego perspective, with ego consciousness, our intuition, like, we have this deep trust, this deep inner knowingness, this deep inner, this faith basically. Wisdom and knowledge helps us have faith, because that helps us understand the invisible realm. And again, the more wisdom we have, the more faith we can have, and the more we can surrender, the more we can allow this magic to happen through us. And this is, and now it's coming full circle, this is what is helping us move from the energy of the Knight of Wands into the energy of the King of Wands. And this is mastery. I'm being taken to Ma. Ma is the Ma of mastery, but also the Ma of magic, the Ma of manifestation. Ma is actually the ocean of energy. Ma is the mother ocean. This energy, like the undefined energy, and we take this ocean, we use the power of the word to take the energy from the mother ocean and speak it into creation, manifest it into creation. And this is mastery, where we focus all of our energies. Like, what we are doing basically is focusing energy, because the energy is here already as the mother ocean, as Ma. That's also the Ma of Ma'at, by the way. And when we focus this energy and manifest it into creation, that is ultimate mastery. That is ultimate magic. Because the potential is there, but it is also about using that potential. Because if we never use our magical abilities, then we don't live up to our fullest creative potential. Then we don't activate, when we don't activate our magical abilities, then it is almost this ocean of potential, never really created, never really defined, never really used. So we want to use our creative potential to invoke the energy or the structure, the blueprint, what it is that we're wanting to create, and manifest it into creation. And this is the step from the Knight to the King. The Knight has the potential, like knows that they have the ability, but it's scattered energy. And this can also be this scattered energy of the Mother Ocean, where everything is contained within itself, but it's not really defined, like it doesn't yet have a blueprint. But what we are doing is creating that blueprint and then manifesting it into creation. And this is the ultimate mastery. And again, it happens, there is very much something also about balance coming through. Not only focusing on the masculine, but also allowing things to flow with the feminine energy. And Ptah is really coming through to help us activate our magical abilities and live up to our fullest potential. And one of the gateways to that is the activation of the throat chakra. But it's actually also connected to our solar plexus chakra, because this is where the energy then actually comes through. So very much something about our creative energy, and allowing ourselves to flow with that, allowing ourselves to explore our potential. Again, at the same time always acting with purity of intent, because that is the key to all of our manifestations. If we act in alignment with Ma'at, if we act in harmony with the cosmic law, then everything is possible to be manifested, because it serves the highest good of all. But when we act from an ego perspective, then we cannot really live up to our highest potential. Because if we operate from an ego perspective, that means that we don't have the insight of what is behind the veil. We don't have the insight of our higher self. We don't have the knowledge and the understanding of the invisible realm. And that's why if we truly want to be magicians, we have to have the knowledge of both. We have to create a bridge between the two. And this is very much where Ptah and Odin come in. They help us create the bridge through wisdom, through understanding, that help us activate our magical abilities. Beautiful energy. I absolutely love this reading. So this was your message for today. I really hope you resonate with the messages, and please let me know in the comments if you did. And if you are curious to find out more about Ptah or Odin or Poseidon or this specific cosmic energy, you can stay tuned for the next pile. And if you feel this was your message for today, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye bye, much love. Hello, beautiful soul. So this is your reading if you have chosen pile number 2 with the synchronicity card. And first of all, as I'm looking at this card, I'm really strongly being taken to this part here. And this is very much the energy of the Great Void. So if you come from pile number 1, we have been talking about creating a bridge behind the veil and everything that is in creation. But there is also something about the energy of the Great Void and almost, yes, speaking things into creation, almost extracting creation out of the Great Void. Because the Great Void, and that's the energy of Nun, if you are familiar with the ancient Egyptian pantheon, like the ancient Kemetic Netarianism, that's the energy of Nun, the chaos ocean, the Great Void. But it's also the energy of Nate, it's also the energy of Rhea in the Hellenistic mysticism, and this is very much the potential for all creation, which is however not yet defined. And this is fiery plasma, but it's fiery plasma that is not yet formed, or it's like, yeah, it's super hard to find the words for the Great Void, but the Great Void, this nothingness, is not nothingness. Like it's an ocean full of nothingness, but this no thing does not mean that nothing is there. Like it's not absolute nothingness. It's not absolute zero. It's nothingness in the sense of, yes, there is nothing created, nothing formed, but at the same time it's the potential for everything. And it is actually Thoth and Ptah, because today we're channeling messages from Ptah, but right now there is actually very much also the energy of Thoth coming through. It's the cosmic dragon spirit, which almost permeates or like flows along this Great Void. And this is actually the spirit that moved upon the face of the waters. In the Bible, in the Genesis, the very first part of the Bible, this is actually this cosmic dragon spirit. The waters is this chaos ocean, this undifferentiated matter, and the spirit which moves upon the face of the waters is this cosmic intelligence. And this cosmic intelligence, again, almost extracts creation from this potential of creation. And it's this cosmic intelligence that creates the plan and the blueprint of how everything is going to be unfolding, like how everything is going to look like. Because again, in the Great Void, there is a potential for everything, but it's not yet formed, and the cosmic dragon spirit almost brings in the form. But again, it's not yet formed also in this state, because this dragon spirit, like Thoth, that's very much the idea. Because again, if you come from pile 1, I have said this again, but it's coming through here as well, very important, that we can have an idea, but this idea is in our mind, let's say. It's not yet spoken out, it has not yet been uttered. And then Ptah would be the energy that utters that idea into creation. And that's why Ptah is the bridge that allows pre-creation to be created. That's the divine word which allows the idea of Thoth in the chaos ocean to then have crystallized, manifested form. But I don't want to repeat myself, because it's like a very similar message to pile 1. If you feel drawn to pile 1, you might also watch that. But there is also something, obviously, with synchronicity coming through that has to do with also understanding synchronicity. Because synchronicity, the word synchronicity actually means something that happens simultaneously. Because chronicity, synchronicity, chronos is actually time. That's the cycle of time. But it's very much about understanding the events in the cycle of time, which then help us get to know what lies behind the veil. And this is very much where wisdom comes in, because wisdom is what helps us create this bridge between the two. But yeah, again, I want to see what the cards have to say, because it's a similar message to pile 1, and I feel it's actually kind of a direct continuation. So let's see what the cards have to say. Beautiful Queen of Scepters, already at the beginning. Oh wow, the Eon with Horus and our higher self. So definitely something about higher self embodiment, pineal activation. Two of Scepters, very fiery energy. So very connected to our creative energy with the Magician, definitely. Queen of Cups, beautiful. Oh, I love this energy, very beautiful. Wow, okay, we have the Magician twice. This is amazing. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my goodness, it makes me excited. I absolutely love this energy. Let's see. 8 of Wands, okay. And the Star. Look at this card. Such magical energies. I absolutely love it. And I'm actually being told to also pull some oracle cards here, which I'm gonna do right now. And we're channeling messages from, we're channeling messages from Ptah. And we have Breathe the Sun, Presence, Pineal Activation. Look at this. We have this is so much, it's very divinely guided. That's what I want to say. A lot of synchronicities, a lot of, I feel also part 1, like the reading, like all this reading up until now, I had a completely different idea in mind, and it turned out completely different. So it's also something, this is very much the message that has been coming through, like we want to have an idea, because I got the inspiration to do this reading, I got this insight from Spirit, I channeled the information from Spirit, and all I needed to do is to set up my camera, to make the arrangement, like to get all my cards, to basically open the portal. But then it's almost Spirit flowing through and taking over. And that's very much something that has to do also with our manifestation process. And this is where it's a continuation from pile number 1, because it is talking about how we best manifest things into creation. And it is helping us understand what we can do, like in which situations we have to act, and in which situations we simply have to allow things to come through. Because if I had, let's say, a specific idea about what I would want to talk about in this reading, then I would have blocked this magic to flow through. Then maybe I would have blocked these synchronicities from happening. And that's why all I can do, again, from my side, is only setting things up, making the necessary actions to make the reading happen. Let's say, again, recording the audio and the video and all of it. But then it's allowing the magic to unfold in a way that, where we are surrendering, where we are open for Spirit's perspective. And this is very important when it comes to the magician. But let me lay the cards first so I get into the reading. We also have the universe and we have sovereignty. Wow. Very, very, very powerful energies. And this is, yes, obviously very much talking about sovereignty. And our sovereignty, the ultimate divine sovereignty, is when we understand that we are the creators of the universe, when we are magicians. And that's why the magician is coming up twice, to really put it into our face, to say like, yes, you are the creator of the universe, you are a magician. We all have magical abilities, and it's not only me or a spiritual person or someone. No, everyone has magical abilities, because what we are doing is we are basically the bridges between the realm, and it happens through the power of our word. So the way a magician invokes the energy to create this physical reality, it's through the power of the word. But it is also by breathing in the sun. Wow, like it's so beautiful that it shows up exactly in this position. Because with breathing in the sun, that's exactly breathing in source light. Because the sun, that's very much the energy of Ra, the energy of Aten, the sun disk. And this is where we receive basically all of our creative energy. Like, the energy does not come from us, it comes from a higher power. It comes from our soul. And that's why here we have Horus and our higher self. Like, it comes from, yes, it doesn't come from the ego. And when we as magicians inhale this creative energy, when we literally breathe in the sun, this is what allows us to create. And that's why the most basic thing that we are doing as creator beings is breathing. Because when we breathe, we are automatically breathing in the light and the spirit and the life force energy that we need in order to create and manifest things. And that's why the very fact that we breathe already means that we are magicians. The very fact that we breathe already means that we are bridges between the realms. Because when we breathe, we are not only breathing in air, we are literally breathing in light. And look at this flame, this is so huge. Like, have you ever seen a flame so big? So I definitely feel this surge of energy wanting to come through, and it happens through the breath. So the deeper we breathe and the more consciously we breathe, the more life force energy we are channeling into our light vessel. And the more light, the more creative energy, the more power we have to manifest this universe. But we have universe centering the reading, so it has nothing to do with, oh, I'm a magician and I create all the wealth that I want, or I create it's not about approaching these magical abilities from an ego perspective, but it's more so about being conscious of our role as creator beings in this universe. Because it is not about what we want to create, but it is creation for the sake of creation. Like, all that is in creation is created by the creator, but it's the creator creating through us. Because we as creator beings, we as magicians, we are agents of source. And through our actions, through all that we are doing, we are literally manifesting this universe. But it is source acting through us. And that's why when we understand that we are source, that creation is happening through us, this is ultimate sovereignty. This is ultimate empowerment. This is in fact pineal activation. Because the Queen of Scepters, she holds the scepter with the pine cone. And the pine cone, that's also very, I see a pineapple here. So definitely pine cone, pineal gland activation. Pineal activation means that we are receptive for that source light, because the pineal gland, that's the receptive energy. It's actually a feminine energy, because that feminine receptive aspect is again being receptive to source light, being receptive to the spirit breath of God, of source, of the universe. And this is what helps us manifest things into creation. And the more we embody, like the more we are present, the more we connect with our breath, the more conscious we are when we are breathing, the more our creative energy rises. So it's really about being very present and being very conscious about who we are. And this is where Ptah comes in, because, yeah, if you come from pile number 1, I've already mentioned it there, Ptah and ODIN, this is the energy of wisdom. And the more wisdom we have, the more we understand who we are on a soul level. The more we understand that, yes, we are the sovereigns of this universe, the more we understand that we are magicians. And this is very much something, this has to do with higher self-embodiment. And this is where the energy of Horus comes in. So, yeah, the way we activate these magical abilities is very much by remembering who we are. And remembering that all the wisdom is already here, that all the energy is already here. And this is also very much where this energy of the great void comes through. Because the great void is also, let's say, this ocean of, well, it's not the great void, but it's what comes out of it, but it's this ocean of potentiality, it's this ocean of energy, this ocean of unlimited possibilities. And by using the element of fire, by taking action, by really literally acting on that creative impulse, we are taking, yes, we are the ones who give shape to that undefined matter. And that's why it is so important for us to activate our magical abilities, to remember that we are magicians. Because if we don't remember that, then creation is not unfolding as it should be, or it's actually attracting the energy of chaos. Because what creation does is keeping order. Because again, before all creation, there is this chaos ocean, which is disorder. Again, it's the potential for everything, but it has not yet been defined. It has no structure, it has no order. But as soon as there is a sound, as there is light, as there is action, as there is this fiery aspect, as there is, yes, creation, then there is a structure, then there is a blueprint, then there is a form. And that's why all we have to do is basically breathing, inhaling light, inhaling spirit, and taking action. Acting on the impulse that we receive from spirit, because this is how then creation happens through us, as the magicians, but the magicians who are the manifestors, the master manifestors. But when there are all these beings who don't know anything about their creative abilities, who don't know anything about what is behind the veil, then this is what is attracting the energy of chaos, because then human beings or the magicians, they don't live up to their fullest potential. And that's why we are not creating structure, or we are not creating creations, or we are being stagnant, or we are not, when we don't act on that impulse of creation. This is what attracts the energy of the great void, where everything falls into chaos again, or everything is undefined again. So breathing, just by breathing and just by looking at something, we are already giving something a shape. We are already giving something a definition. But when we, as magicians, close our eyes, then everything is black. Nothing is defined. It's the potential of everything, but it's not yet created. But as soon as we exist as the magician who breathes and who sees through the light of life, we are already creating things into manifestation. So it's also Ptah coming through to tell us that we don't necessarily have to take physical action in order to be creator beings, because simply by existing and breathing and seeing, we are already creating a structure, we are already creating a blueprint. But then at the same time, when we as magicians close our eyes, we can then also connect to the cosmic energies which lie beyond form. It's about connecting, yes, to the universal energies. And this is very much where the energy of wisdom comes through. Because again, the more wisdom we have, the more we can understand the invisible, the more we can understand the inner world. And that's very much this focus on the inner world, because in society, or like the way we have been growing up, there is always a focus on what's created, what's physical, what's in the outside world, what is basically our mirror. So it's basically a focus on everything we look at when our eyes are open. But we have never really learned, or in mainstream education at least, or in the mainstream media, we have never really been taught how to connect with the inner world, or how to navigate the inner worlds. And this is very much where the energy of Ptah and Odin and Neptune and these archetypes comes in. Because again, Neptune is also the energy that helps us understand the dream realm, or when I say dream realm, it's that which is invisible. So yeah, it's very much again helping us understand our creative potential. And yeah, I keep on being taken back also to this space here, like to the Great Void, where there is also something about the dream time coming through. So this time of like the dream time, that's actually the time where this cosmic dragon has been planning how creation is going to be unfolding. Like they has been creating the blueprint as a dream, as an idea, and then Ptah comes in to actually birth these things into creation. But it's not Ptah who birthed the things into creation, because Ptah, as the All-Father, is only providing the seed, the code, the blueprint. But it's actually the Divine Mother who is birthing everything into creation. And all Ptah is doing is basically opening the portal, opening the mouth of creation, uttering the word, but then the word itself, the vibration itself, the blueprint itself, the creation, that's divine feminine energy. Because that is what is allowing the magician to have an experience. So the divine feminine energy, which is the whole cosmos of creation, everything that can be seen, experienced and sensed, that's divine feminine energy. And these inputs, these triggers, these senses, everything we perceive and see, this is what helps the magician have wisdom or understand actually the inner world. And that's why I say that the physical world is a mirror of ourselves. Because everything that goes on in the outside world, everything that happens in creation, is actually helping us understand our core, who we are. But who we are lies beyond creation. Who we are, that's in the realm of, that's in the inner realm. And again, Neptune is also connected with Pisces, and that helps us understand our spiritual truth, who we are, through wisdom, through sensing. Like it's about senses, also with the Queen of Cups, the sensations, the vibrations, the sounds, the colors, like all of these are sense triggers, or like our senses are being triggered so that we can have an experience, and this experience leads to understanding. This understanding leads to insight and wisdom of who we are innately, like our innate truth. And actually, the way we get to that truth is not by taking too much action, not by being too active, but actually just by being present and breathing. So we don't have to read 100 books, we don't have to always be in this 8 of Wands energy, like pushing through things, like being active all the time. Literally all we can do to connect with our innate truth is being present and breathing consciously. Because actually that's also an exercise. Literally breathe the sun. There is an exercise where we can simply face the sun and we imagine as if we would be inhaling the light of the sun through our inner eye, but also through the pineal gland. And this is where this receptive aspect of the pineal gland comes through. Just making this, like just doing this exercise of breathing consciously is already allowing more life force energy, more creative energy to flow through, because that helps us again to understand that we are the star, that we are Horus, that we are Christ, that we are the magician who is creating this universe. But it actually very much happens through sensing. Not so much, there is not so much a focus on being active, even though the magician is quite an active energy. It's actually a very masculine energy with that spark of creation. But it is almost about, again, this energy of allowing spirit to inspire us, allowing spirit to guide us. And this is where pineal activation comes through. Because before our pineal gland is not activated, before we have not opened our inner eye, before we have not opened to spirituality on a deeper level, again, Pisces and Neptune energy coming through, again, very much the energy of Ptah. Before we have not done that, we might be operating from an ego-based consciousness, where again, we are not using our fullest potential. So that's why sometimes the most productive thing we can do is just being present, staying completely silent, breathing consciously, and sensing all the sensations there are to experience. Because that's very much what creation is also very much about. It's about, yes, also learning how to manifest, using our creative abilities, but it's actually about very much being receptive, like feeling, having an experience, like allowing ourselves to play, allowing ourselves to experience what there is to experience. And this is what helps us gain wisdom or gain insight, or not gaining something, because again, the light has always been there. We are source anyway, like we are that creative spark, that light, that sun, that breath. But it's almost about adding layers to what that is. And that's why Ptah is helping us to connect to our innate wisdom. Ptah is helping us to connect to our inner truth. And funnily enough, it happens through the breath. Very much also this solar plexus energy. Very much this energy of also the star. But it's the star where it's a higher aspect of that, because when we talk about solar plexus energy, that's the light, the creative energy that we need in order to manifest the physical realm. But the star is more coming through as the energy of Ishtar, the energy of Isis, the energy of the spiritual sun. So Ptah is also helping us understand the sun behind the sun. Not only the sun, that is the creative energy that we need to act or to create the physical universe, but also the spiritual sun, which is the force that allows the sun to shine in the first place. And again, it has something to do with understanding source, understanding God and the divine, but not only from a perspective of creation, but also from a perspective of pre-creation, from a perspective of the great void. And this is very much where we are expanding the understanding of who we are. And this is very much where it comes full circle, like understanding and wisdom is the expansion of who we are. And the more wisdom we have, the more understanding we have, the more we expand our being. And the more vast we are, the more our creative abilities also expand. Because when we understand that we are actually the great void, then we literally connect with a place of unlimited potential. Because that's where we come from. And that's who we are essentially. Like, obviously, essentially, we are source, which lies even beyond the great void. But yeah, it's about understanding these nuances, these different layers of who we are, and the more we understand, the more we rise and expand. And again, when we understand that we are that creative, when we understand that we are the great void, then we can operate from a place of ultimate empowerment, because we know that creation happens through us. We know that we are an intrinsic, like if not the most important part of physical creation in this realm. And then obviously there are other realms, but it's also about understanding these realms, like understanding the 3D realm, understanding all the different realms, and understanding all of creation, and understanding everything which is beyond creation, understanding consciousness, understanding beingness, understanding who we are. And this is very much where the energy of Ptah, Odin, Poseidon, Neptune, Pisces comes in. So when we want to learn more about who we are, and when we want to expand our understanding of who we are, then we can call in the presence of Ptah and Odin to help us do exactly that. But again, it is about activating our magical abilities and understanding or remembering that we are a creator being and that creation happens through us. Very powerful message, very beautiful energy. So thank you so much for tuning in. This was your message for today. I really hope you resonated with it, and please let me know in the comments if you did. And if you would like to learn more about Ptah, you can also look at the other piles if you're interested. And if not, this was your message for today. So thank you so much for watching. Sending you infinite love and blessings, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Hello, beautiful souls. So this is your reading if you have chosen pile number 3 with the expression card. And it's very beautiful because the first time I look at this card, I'm really strongly being taken to the throat chakra. But we have been covering this in the first 2 piles. So actually I'm strongly being taken to the historical accounts in connection with the energy of Ptah. Because again, when I talk about Ptah, we're actually channeling messages from the cosmic principle, or the cosmic, it's a cosmic energy basically. And we're channeling messages that help us understand this specific cosmic energy. And this specific cosmic energy has been present also on planet Earth throughout history. Because when we talk about Ptah, Ptah is also where the name Egypt comes from. The PT of Egypt is the same PT of Ptah, because the name Egypt comes from He Ka Ptah. He, which is the heart, Ka, which is the spirit energy, the creative energy, and Ptah, which is Ptah. So He Ka Ptah is the house or the Ka of Ptah. And in ancient Egypt, like especially dynastic Egypt, the archetype or the deity or the cosmic energy of Ptah was very honored, was very revered. And this is actually still very much like this to this day. Because still most people, when they refer to God, they actually refer to the energy of Ptah. Because especially those who refer to God as a male deity. Because this male energy, this divine masculine energy, that's the energy of the divine crafter, the divine architect. And actually, he is also the patron of the creators. So the reason why this specific energy was very much revered in ancient Egypt is because this is a remnant of the Atlantean culture. Because in the time where Atlantis was, we're talking about the golden ages of Atlantis, like the heyday of Atlantis, the golden era of Atlantis. In these times, Poseidon, or the energy of Ptah, or the energy of Odin, that specific cosmic energy, was the dominant in society. Because we also say that Odin or Ptah or Poseidon, this specific cosmic energy, is the founder of Atlantis. And obviously we know the most common version, we say Poseidon is the king of Atlantis, but it's actually not Poseidon, it's actually Ptah, but it's actually not Ptah, it's this specific cosmic energy. So actually Ptah is also coming through, almost making a little bit of fun in helping us understand that we don't want to taint or to color specific historical accounts by saying, oh, it has been Poseidon, or oh, it has been Ptah, or it has been this specific deity. Because all these deities, they're basically helping us understand the invisible. They're a definition to what is undefinable. And that's why when we say that Poseidon is the king of Atlantis, it's actually that specific energy which has been the force which allowed Atlantis to come to be in the first place. Because Atlantis is a mirror of heaven. And that's very much also the ancient Kemetic spirituality. Like ancient Egypt is also a mirror of heaven. But that culture, that wisdom comes from Atlantis. And this is where both cultures are connected. They both were acting as a mirror of the heavens. And when you come from if you come from pile number 1 and 2, we have been talking about the energy of Ptah as being a bridge between the realms, and this is exactly what Atlantis was. It was a bridge between the realms, because everything that happened in the heavens, everything that happened in the invisible spirit world, the Atlanteans wanted to mirror it onto the earth. And that's why the central island of Atlantis, the Poseidonis, it's actually named after Poseidon, the capital city of Atlantis, is a mirror of heaven in the sense that the central temple, the temple of Poseidon in Atlantean times, that's actually housing the 12 leaders of Atlantis. It's a house, a temple for the 12 deities, actually the 12 Olympian gods. Also the 12 signs of the zodiac. It's a temple of the number 12. But these 12 signs of the zodiac, or these 12 deities, or these 12 spiritual leaders of Atlantis, they help us connect with Source, which lies beyond creation. But it is almost these cosmic energies, these cosmic deities, these cosmic emanations mirrored on the earth, in the sense where, the 12 families of Atlantis who have been reigning over the empire, or the 12 spiritual leaders, the 12 high priests and high priestesses, which then were actually turned into the deities of the Egyptians and the Greeks. It's very much about understanding our history, but not taking things literally, because yes, these 12 signs of the zodiacs, or the 12 Olympian gods, they're actually these cosmic archetypes, which again help us connect with the oneness, the undefinable oneness. And this is also where the energy of Ptah comes in, or the energy of Odin, because it's this wisdom, again pretty much the same message in all 3 piles, this wisdom which helps us to get to know ourselves, which helps us give a definition to what is undefined. But this is wisdom, and that's why Odin and Ptah, they're also connected with astrology. They're also connected with magical wisdom, like spells, invocation, and it's these spells actually, and that's why we also have expression, like the power of our word. And actually Ptah is wanting to help us understand how powerful our words are. And we use our voice, the power of our words, to express that invisible creative energy, to create a bridge between the great void and the physical realm. And I would like to see what the cards have to say, because again, it's a very similar message to all 3 piles, but I feel it's actually the same message, but we're just looking at it through different lenses and maybe adding things Maybe it's even some of you who are watching all three piles might be having some unanswered questions, and then this pile is like a follow-up of the unanswered questions you might be having. That's a message that is coming through, so I hope some of the questions you still might be having are going to be answered in this reading. But again, it's reminding us of the power of our word, our voice as being the bridge between the realms, and also understanding who we truly are. So, we have the Five of Cups. We have the Devil, okay, interesting. Nine of Cups. Then we have the Knight of Swords. Seven of Scepters. No, Seven of Swords. Why did I say Seven of Scepters? We'll see. We have Two of Pentacles. Then we have Nine of Scepters. Here we have the Scepters. And the King of Scepters, the King of Wands, which also came up in pile 2. So we'll see what this is about. And I'm actually being told to also pull some oracle cards. So we're channeling messages from Ptah, channeling messages from the cosmic principle. Oh, this one as well. Okay. So we have the Lemurian Guide, which says, sister, friend, teacher of infinite and universal love. Cosmic circles, create sacred space, embrace unlimited possibilities. Syrian emissaries, oh yeah, Syrian energy, that was the missing thing that I didn't mention in the others. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, dream for the new earth. Time now for a magical life. And last but not least, we have, oh, look at this, integration. Forgive self, others, reunion, let go of defenses and open the door. Oh, wow. This actually really brings me to the opening of the mouth ceremony, opening the door in the sense of opening the door of our mouth to speak our truth, but also opening the door for manifestations to come in, because we also use the power of our word, the power of expression, to open portals. And when I say Ptah is opening the portal for creations to come through, that's actually us. That's an aspect of ourselves. And that's why the 12 Olympian gods are also connected with the 12 signs of the zodiac, because these 12 leaders of Atlantis, these 12 high priests, which then were turned into the deities of Egypt and Greece, they were actually teaching that one specific aspect of Source Creator, which then turned into one of the 12 signs of the zodiac. And when it says open the door, we are the ones who can open this door. We are the ones who can invoke the energy to create. We are the ones who are the bridge between the invisible realm and the physical realm. And again, that what creates the bridge is sound. Because sound is that which permeates the all. Not just the all of creation, but also the all of pre-creation. Because pre-creation is the potential of sound. It is not yet sound. It is not yet a wave form vibration, but it's still the potential of that. And our voice is creating the bridge in the sense of it takes the potential, the idea, and it speaks it into creation. And this is what it means, like, this is why authentic expression is so important, because the more authentically we are ourselves, the more, yes, it's allowing this unique perspective of source to be expressed. This unique way of perceiving oneness to be created, to be spoken into creation. And this is why expression is coming up, because Ptah is helping us to authentically express ourselves, because this is what we want to integrate in this physical realm. Like, the integration is also talking about the actual manifestation or the crystallization of cosmic wisdom, because we also have this big crystal, like we're literally here to birth our most authentic expression of self, to embody our most authentic expression of source light. It's about materializing and crystallizing source light and almost integrating this very unique perspective. And obviously knowing that there are all these different perspectives. But if we look at source from the perspective of Pisces and Poseidon, or if we look at source through the perspective of Thoth and Gemini, like it's a different way of looking at oneness, but at the same time it's helping us understand that oneness, because oneness is undefinable, oneness is beyond words. And that's why the wisdom of the stars and the wisdom of the deities, the wisdom of these cosmic energies helps us get to know ourselves. But it's not ourselves, it's helping us get to know the universe, we as the universe. So yes, it's very much a similar message, but it's adding up to maybe some missing pieces. And very beautiful that the Syrian energy comes up, because I'm strongly being taken also to the Syrian star ancestors with this, because the beings who were most involved in the creation of Atlantis, they were actually Syrian beings. And with this, I'm really, really strongly being taken to the story of the creation of humankind, where there are many different versions, obviously, but this is Ptah, the story of Ptah, or that specific cosmic energy creating human beings. So it doesn't mean that Syrian star beings took their UFOs and landed on Earth in order to create human beings. But it's actually this cosmic energy of Ptah or Odin or Poseidon, which is coming through the portal of Sirius onto the Earth. And it's that cosmic energy, that unique aspect of source, which is creating human beings. And this is why Ptah is coming through, to help us understand also some historical accounts, because there is the story of the fire bearer, Prometheus, I think it's called, who is stealing the fire from the heavens and giving it to the people. And this is what then creates the dispute with Zeus being super angry, which then causes the flood on Earth and Atlantis to fall down. And what this means, what this story means, is that Zeus is the energy that wants to keep order. It's the energy that wants almost this divine plan to unfold and basically this order is being kept in order to maintain the order of the cosmos, in order to maintain balance in the cosmos. But then the energy of Prometheus, which is also the energy of Enki, wants human beings to have the same power as the gods, wants human beings to also have the flame of oneness in the center of our heart, this source light, this creative ability. And this is this fire which has been stolen from the heavens and brought to the people. So actually, Syrian star beings were involved in activating our DNA or changing our DNA in a way so that we would have magical abilities just as much as divine beings would have. Whereas the energy of Zeus more tried to contain. It's actually two different energies. So the Earth experiment through the lens of Zeus is allowing the experiment to unfold in a way where it is very, very following the rules, or like following the book. It's like actually not taking risks. But then the Syrian energy comes in to almost see how it's going to turn out if people had all these magical abilities or all these magical powers. And this is actually the way it has been chosen, like the way obviously it comes from source, but the way it then unfolded was through the Syrian energy, where Syrians have been helping us to actually embody or to bring the energy of the Holy Trinity on Earth. Because this is what Syrian energy is about. Syrian energy resonates with the energy of the Holy Trinity. The Holy Trinity being the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and the eternal child in the middle. And Sirius is actually a trinary star system with Sirius A, B, and C. And that's why Sirius, if we look at life on Earth, Sirius is the portal where this energy of the Holy Trinity is being channeled into this realm. And this is where we talk about the integration of this cosmic wisdom crystallized onto the Earth. So we might connect Enki or Odin and Ptah with Sirius, but Ptah is coming through to tell us that it's not directly connected. So it's not that Enki is a Syrian extraterrestrial, or that Poseidon descended from... Yeah, Poseidon did descend from Sirius, but not as a star being from a constellation, like from a planet on Sirius, in the Sirius star system, but it's this cosmic energy that is coming through the portal of Sirius to then be channeled into the Earth. And so it's still Source who has been creating human beings. And when I say human beings, I'm really referring to the flesh vessel. Like this flesh suit has been designed by Source. But the Syrians, they were agents of Source in making this happen. So yes, Syrian beings have been involved in designing our genetic code, because Ptah is also the divine crafter in the sense that he's a master geneticist. And the Syrians, they are master geneticists because they are creating the blueprint of our DNA. They're creating the code and the information, and yeah, that allows us to have a physical form. And that's why, again, it's so it's hard to find the words to describe this, but it's one side of it is this energy of Ptah and Odin, the other side of it is Syrian energy, and it's helping us understand how the two are related, but at the same time helping us understand that it's not a direct, literal, something that we have to take literally, because many people think that the Syrian Anunnaki have been coming on Earth to create a slave race of human beings, which is not correct. It's like actually this cosmic energy of Ptah, which is coming through the stargate of Sirius to then create these beings on Earth. But if this has come, it can come in many ways. It doesn't mean it's not important if this happens spiritually, or if this happened as actual star beings landing on Earth to then change the genetic structure. Like, it doesn't mean whether it's physical or spiritual. It doesn't mean if it's mythical or actual. The thing that Ptah wants to help us understand that it is both, because both is spiritual and physical. Both is undefined and defined. And the same thing is with Atlantis. Atlantis is both a myth, but it has also actually happened. But it doesn't matter on which side of the coin we look at it. The fact that the fact that the story is known already means that it is true. Then of course, if we only look at it from the physical lens, then we might think that Syrian Anunnaki have been coming on Earth to create Atlantis and to create a new type of beings, who is then human beings. But we can also look at it from the lens that this cosmic energy of Ptah, this deity, this emanation, this unique emanation of Source, has been etherically creating the blueprint as an idea, and sound is the force which then allowed this idea to unfold. And sound obviously is everything which is in creation, everything which is manifested. So yeah, Ptah is really helping us to see both sides of the coin, to expand our vision. And this is where the energy of the cosmic circle comes in, because it's this energy of full circle in the sense of understanding the workings of the cosmic energies, the cosmic forces, the yin and the yang. With this, I'm really being taken to, again, these cosmic emanations of Source, all these deities, all these archetypes. They're helping us understand oneness, which is undefinable, which is it's not possible to define Source. But all these other aspects, the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 deities, they are providing this one unique perspective of how to connect with that oneness. Because we can never directly go there, because we always are there anyway. Like, we are Source at our core. So we can never become Source, or we can never reach towards Source, because we are Source. And all we can do is just adding a unique perspective, how to find back to, like how to connect back to source, but we have always been connected already. And everything these unique perspectives provide is just adding an experience, adding wisdom, adding knowledge, adding understanding. And this is very much also what Ptah and Odin and Poseidon are about. It's about understanding and wisdom, but it's about spiritual wisdom, magical wisdom. Wisdom that helps us tap into our innermost self. And with the Lemurian guide, I am really strongly being taken to this temple here. This is like in Atlantis, the temples, they have been cyclical or like circular, because the circle or the sphere was the closest shape that helps us connect to oneness, that helps us connect to source. But again, it's very much about understanding also the different facets of source. But there is something very specific about, because in both cards, the head is cut away. And I'm actually being told to clarify this here, because I'm being made to feel there is a very important message about that. We're asking for clarification, because we also have the devil here. What is Ptah wanting to tell us with this? We're asking for clarification. Let's see. We have the 10 of coins, okay. We have the Queen of coins. And we have the 8 of swords. Okay, so there is something about letting go of limitations. And actually, yes, Capricorn energy. Because the devil is also Capricorn energy. So Ptah is coming through to tell us that we are wanting to understand these different aspects of who we are, but at the same time also not being limited by them. Because sometimes we might be identifying with, let's say, I'm a Pisces or I'm a Gemini, and we might identify with that specific energy, or we might identify with, some people say, I am Isis and I am Horus, which obviously is true. Yes, you are. But not only that, you're also Ptah, and you're also Sekhmet, you're also Ra, you're also Zeus, you're also Poseidon, like you're all these other aspects. And that's why Ptah is almost coming through to, again, expand our horizon, expand our understanding who we are, and that in itself is allowing us to let go of perceived limitations. Because the devil is also limiting energy in the sense of being limited by the cycle of time, or being limited by the cycle of creation, like the wheel of creation, the wheel of time. But it's almost, yes, the way we bring both together, the way we transcend this cycle, is actually by understanding the force that permeates the all. Because this cosmic force is also present outside of the wheel of time. And this force is also existing beyond that which is creation. So when we connect to that primal force, and with this I'm being taken to the Odic force, and the Odic force is, it's very hard to describe it, it's actually undefinable energy. It's this energy which allows everything to be created. And it's very interesting because actually in Atlantean times, the Atlanteans knew how to harness that energy. The Atlanteans used actually this Odic force, like it's we can define it as Odic force, but we can also define it as eternal, ethereal, essential essence energy, like it's energy which is not yet shaped, like it's the energy which creates the all, the energy that creates the whole cosmos. And the Atlanteans knew how to harness that energy, and they used this energy to power their crystals, to power their flying machines, to literally amplify their magical abilities, because they had the wisdom of how to work with crystals and vibrational technology. And this is very much Syrian wisdom. So the Syrian star ancestors, the Syrian star beings, have been helping to bring this wisdom to earth. And that's why we might connect Odin or Ptah or Enki with Sirius. But it's not that Enki, Poseidon or Ptah or Odin are Syrian star seeds or Syrian star beings. It's again this energy that comes through Sirius, but the energy itself is cosmic. It's a cosmic emanation. It's a cosmic energy, basically. And yeah, the way we create this full circle moment is actually by connecting to that force, to that invisible force that permeates the all. This is also the Tao. So the Om, many might know the AUM, the Om, as being the sound of creation. But in Atlantean times, this sound was actually called the Tao, so T-A-U. And this is actually this force that permeates the all. This force which is actually not really created, but it is that which leads to all creations. It is this eternal, undefined energy, which then almost turns into every potential energy. And yeah, the energy of, like, this is also the vril force. Some of you who might be researching about Atlantis might have heard of the vril force. That's actually this odic force which is powering all of this Atlantean technology. But again, the way we create this full circle moment is by actually connecting with that energy, because that energy is here all the time. The only thing is we might not know just yet how to harness this force. But this wisdom is actually coming back. Because right now we are living in times where many people who have been living in Lemurian and Atlantean times are here on Earth. Also many Syrian star seeds, many ancient souls who have this wisdom encoded in their genes. And the more we remember the different aspects of who we are, the more we also remember this ancient wisdom that helps us harness this odic force or this primal energy, but in a way that is creative, in a way that is in alignment with the cosmic forces. And that's why also the King of Scepters is coming through, because it's a very similar message to, I think, pile number 2 or 1, but anyway they are related. But it's again coming through to help us understand how we best make use of this creative ability. Because again, in Atlantean times we have had this wisdom and these abilities, but in a place where the consciousness was deteriorating. And that's why the devil is coming through, because this is very much a focus on using or harnessing this force for selfish desires or for the empowerment of the individual. And that's why this head is coming through, like cutting our ego away, cutting our head away, cutting the physical limitations away, and reconnecting back with the essence of creation, the essence of who we are, the pure essence, not we as, oh, now I'm this powerful being on earth and I'm creating magic to enrich my empire. No, it's about using that creative wisdom to glorify us being source, to glorify creation. Like, it's about the empowerment of creation for the sake of creation, not creating for the sake of enriching the individual. So, and this is very much the phase we are entering in right now. And that's why I also feel the guidance of Ptah coming through, to also help us regain hope in some way, because maybe some of you might be feeling this 5 of Cups energy where maybe things are a bit stagnant, or maybe we're not using our creative potential to the fullest. And this is actually what leads to depression. Like, the reason why we are depressed is because we are not using our magical abilities and our fullest potential to the fullest. Because we know we could do more, we know we could do better, but we're not acting on that impulse. So Ptah is coming through to help us know or identify how to best act on the impulse, but at the same time also allowing that force to work through us. Because again, this energy, this odic force, this Tao, the Tao that permeates the all, that is what creates all. But the more we tap into this energy, like, we are literally attuning our being to, we're attuning our heart to the heart of the cosmos. And when we have done that, when we have attuned to that energy, then creation happens through us. And that's why we want to cut away the ego, because again, we are not the doer. this magic happens through us, and the way this magic happens through us is by opening the portal of our heart, allowing this source light to flow through and allowing this Tao to create through us, because that is what creates the all. It is the essence of all. But the only thing that might be in the way is our ego, when we think that certain things have to be manifested a certain way. But this is very limiting. So by understanding who we are and by actually knowing that we don't know anything, that is what opens up ultimate, unlimited possibilities. Because the more we think we know who we are, the more we limit ourselves. Because wisdom is actually knowing that we don't know anything. Wisdom is knowing that we can never know enough. There is always more to learn. There is always more to add. And that's why the best thing we can do is to simply drop it all and to connect with silence, to connect within, because literally all the wisdom is to be found within. So it's very much like, again, not focusing on the outside world, because the outside world is actually very much limiting, because the very essence of the outside world is limitation, because everything that is limitation is creation. Creation is limitation, because this Tao, this primordial Odic energy, is unlimited. Unlimited potential, unlimited possibilities. But as soon as we define something, as soon as something has shape, form, color, it's already limiting it. It's already it's defining it. So Ptah is coming through to help us let go of limitations, the limitation of creation, the limitation of physicality, and it's helping us to reconnect with our power. But it's not a selfish power, because very much I've been talking about power in all three pals, but it's really important to understand that this is not the actual power. Is understanding that we are source. The actual power is understanding that the Tao is working through us. And the more we know that, the more we know that the universe would never create misery for the purpose of creating misery, or would never create negative experiences for the sake of hurting us. But the force that permeates the all is actually love. But love, which is absolute non-duality, which is even beyond duality, because creation is duality. Creation is black and white, this or that, it's shape and form, light and darkness. And this force, this Odic force, this Tao, is actually ungendered love. It's unpolarized love. It's the ultimate union. And this is there all the time. So it doesn't matter what is happening in the cosmos. It doesn't matter how much we evolve, how much, whatever we are doing, like at our core, everything is love. At our core, everything is already here. Everything is already pristine. And so on that quest of creating the universe, of creating our garden of life, of trying to manifest this abundance, it's actually not about what we are creating. It's actually not about what is physical, but it is actually only about what is in our heart. So the only way is actually connecting to our heart. There is no other way. The only thing we want to aspire in any realm, in any dimension, on any planet, is connecting with Source. But then obviously, the way to get there, we can go through many different roadblocks, or like we can experience many detours, where we might be focusing on personal power, where we might be focusing on manifesting things, where we might be focusing on gaining wisdom, power, or status, or whatever. But in the end, we'll always get back to Source, because what we always want is merging back to where we came from. Like whenever someone is desiring love, or desiring to be seen, or desiring money or security, like all of our wishes inherently go back to the wish of connecting back to Source, connecting back to home, merging back with love, because love is where we come from and love is where we are going. And obviously in creation, like everything that is in creation, is this perceived separation from love, this perceived duality. But yeah, it's about finding our way back to source in this duality. And the way we can do that is again through many different lenses. Primarily the 12 signs of the zodiac, which are 12 cosmic archetypes, but not even being limited by that, because we might be so authentic that, yeah, it's again authentic expression. Like, we don't even have to fit in this system. Like, we can be so authentic that our personality and our character doesn't even fit into the system of the 12 zodiac signs, or it doesn't even fit into anything that happened on earth before. Like, it's really about being so unique and so authentically ourselves, because again, every unique perspective is providing a very unique way of how to connect with source, and every unique perspective is valid. Every unique perspective is adding up to the whole picture, and this is where the energy of Ptah and Poseidon and Odin comes in. Odin and Ptah, they're helping us to gather new perspectives, to gather new seeds of wisdom, to gather new codes, which ultimately help source understand what source is. Because it's actually, everything that is in creation is basically source finding its way back to source through this perceived separation, but at the same time it was always there already. So again, also the divine paradox coming through, but funnily enough, there is a big focus on wisdom, and wisdom is power. But again, the greatest power we can have is understanding that we are source, going beyond all, transcending all limitations, transcending all perspectives, and merging back into oneness. And Ptah and Odin and Neptune and the energy of Pisces helps us do exactly that. It's finding our way back home, finding our way back home to our source. Alright, so this was your reading for today. I really hope you resonated with the messages, and also please let me know in the comments if you did. And I'm also wishing you a very beautiful day, afternoon, evening, whenever you're tuning in. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye bye, much love.